MUBS
Good evening,
TV.
viewers. My name is Mugabe Godwineke Easy on Media. You're live on MUBS TV for the campus politics show. First and foremost, would like to thank our viewers that have always been with us since we started this. You've really showed us some good love. The following, the tags, the comments, and each and everything that you give us. Please don't forget to subscribe, to follow on all our social media platforms, and as well like and share this content to different stakeholders. Yes, it's been a very big week, a very busy week. A lot has been happening in different institutions, but most importantly, now we bring our cameras on to Kyambogo University. The Banda Hill. A lot has been happening at Kyambogo. We have had guild elections that have been running since 2nd of September with different activities, having different candidates. But now, reaching the pitch of these elections, a lot has happened and some discomforts that have come out of these elections. Here today, I have one of the biggest comrades from Kyambogo University, an activist, a former guild aspirant from Kyambogo University, who has a lot of information to share with us and a lot of this that has been happening all over the week. Yes, Aziz.
Well, thank you so much for having me here at MUBS TV. My brother Easy, thank you for hosting me. My name is Boet Abdulaziz. I'm a former guild aspirant, a student activist, and of course the head of institutions in Akawa West constituency under the National Unity Platform in the new structures. I am happy.
Yes, first things first. Aziz, yes, our viewers there would want to know what has been transpiring at Kyambogo University. We have had an election. This is one of a kind where we've had guild aspirants after nominations are being disqualified from the race. Some are arrested. What is really happening at the Hill of Banda?
I would say that for the time I have been at the Hill, this would be the most mafiaism election that we've had. I think as senior comrades in the university, we've had problems within ourselves that has even brought us far here where we are right now. And this, of course, started from the EC having the chairperson in the names of Aksam Sembatia. At first, we thought he was a comrade that we would work with, obviously. But I think a lot of interests raised within time, and you see a lot of things are happening at different intervals, chaos, elections being extended, this date, the other date, comrades are being imprisoned. Personally, just left the cells yesterday, and it's a pity that it's even comrades, the same comrades that we've worked with, that made us be in the cells. But obviously, I know politics interests raise and things happen.
Yes, you mentioned about being the head of institutions under NUP.
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about the candidature of the candidate of all candidates in this race. I think for the past 3 years, Kyambogo University has had two or more than noob candidates. What is really behind this? Because we see other parties when they are fronting you. For example, when you look at UID, at least they've always had one candidate. But how come that you're failing to have negotiations for these candidates, at least to have one candidate in the race?
You know, the law says that who alleges must prove. Sometimes it's a failure that we can have this proof to these allegations. But for people who have been on ground in these institutions, not only in Kyambogo, but even in other institutions, things happen. However, in Kyambogo, that most of the times we have elders, as we say, and senior comrades, that interests, whenever interest raises, you find that they have different candidates. And you find that if someone fails to have his candidate being the flag bearer, they come independent most of the times. But also, there is that reason behind where we do not experience a fair process of primaries. But when you saw it, in my time when I was running as guild president, things happen. And even some senior comrades intimidated me that to leave, because me, I'm an activist. And I received calls from senior comrades where they told me to leave some spaces because by then I was in the guild elections, and I told them, me, I'm an activist, I have to be to every space. And this annoyed many of them. Some withdrew their support from me, which is very okay with me. And but when I didn't get this card, I said it is okay for the betterment of the party and for the bigger picture. I left the race. But you find that as time has moved on and things have been repeating themselves, people are tired and they feel if there is injustices, they must come out and also represent the students. And no one is the owner of this part of the national unity platform. I mean, it's for the people, and it's the principles of the party that allows us to be part of the party. It's not individuals that maybe it is Bobby, it is the Secretary General or any other person, but it's a party that is based on or built on principles and the principle that we believe in.
On that note, don't you think that the kind of primaries the party is holding are the problems, are the social problems? At one point, I was telling comrades that isn't there any way parties can hold elections where we have the main stakeholders to vote, not a few individuals? Isn't it possible? Like the way it is done outside within the NRM, the FDC, the DP, those primaries, the way they are held. Can't we have these, can't we have this into the institutions as well so that we can avoid that?
Yeah, it is very possible. However much the challenge we normally fear is that sometimes other parties like the NRM or UID or any other party can recruit other students who are not part of the party just to vote for a weaker candidate so that they can beat him in the general elections. That has been the fear. But over time we have decided that maybe it is okay as long as one is a student to come and vote for their good president. Because I know today you can be NRM and tomorrow you are NUP because of the principles. However, I want to bring to you to your attention that this election where we are right now, the 21st guild elections and the NUP guild primaries are totally different from what has been happening in the past. This time round it has been totally different, and that's why you see we have two candidates of NUP, where one is Akiso Benjamin Oprest and one Mogalia Humphrey. Yeah, if you can allow me to give you a background of these primaries, I would be happy to do so. To take you back just small, previously, I'm the head of Institution Accra West, and of course I have to oversee the process of the chapter. Obviously, the National Unity Platform is in different places of the country, and they have chapters in different places, districts, and everywhere. And these chapters represent the National Unity Platform headquarters and the activities, because it is not by default that we must have these chapters, but it is very important to have them, because it is these small chapters that present to the headquarters altogether. So students voted for the executive of the NUP in Kyambogo University, and the process moved on. This chapter was voted, I think, last semester, and it started its operations. You understand? And I think along the way, some members on the chapter developed interests on candidates in this semester where we shall have elections, which was not usual. But obviously we told them, you cannot have interest. We must work things as they are supposed to be.
Exactly.
And some of them said maybe it wasn't fair and fair. So they petitioned the headquarters, which was okay, about the delegate list and everything. So these candidates, both of them were invited at the secretariat. They said, let us retrieve because they said they were tampering with link of delegates. So Rovans, who is a party official, said, let us retrieve the original delegate list and we shall use this one in the voting. And all candidates agreed. The one who was complaining and the other one, they all agreed to use one delegate list. You understand? So where the problem came from? The problem came from where the place of voting. The Kavule executive, or I would say party officials, said we must hold elections at Chitebe in Kavule here. And the chapter was saying we cannot have primaries at Chitebe. Let us put them
where it is not where the university
exactly is. Let us put them back to the university. And this agreement came from here. And we tried to explain to them, I don't know, because this attracted my attention to the fact that maybe some of the party officials, maybe they want to justify that they work for the junta. Because on record, we have been complaining about Makere holding elections in suspending party political activities in the university.
Exactly, yeah.
And if we still have a chance as Kyambogo University to hold elective political activities in the university, and then you hope the junta to take away the political activities to Chitebe, then we question your integrity as individuals in the struggle. So this is what we explained to them, and some of them felt offended, and they said, but it is by force that we shall have them here. But remember, we have a chapter that decided we shall have elections from the Kyambogo University, because why we hold these elections at Kyambogo University is to give publicity to the students that yes, today we have voted for the flag bearer. That's why on record, even those people who have been coming independent after giving out a card at the university, they have been weak. You understand? Because the public witnessed each and everything, and they saw who was the flag bearer. So we held elections at Kyambogo University, and others held elections at Kavule. In fact, even the money we used to print the ballot papers, it was given by me, by the party officials, to print these ballot papers. As the head of Naka West constituency, I brought these ballot papers and I gave them to the chapter. They held the elections and they voted. Where oppressed got 586 votes, and the other candidate got, I think, 58 votes. To be sure, 58 votes. You understand? And oppressed won this flag.
Let's talk about the aftermath of the election. Of the primaries. After the primaries were held, were there any negotiations that the party from the side of Kavule and the side of Kyambogo, were there any negotiations where you had to sit down and see that at least we need to have, regardless of the issues we are having? And
sure. You see, in conflict resolution, listen to each other is something very critical and important. I remember even on the day of voting for the flag bearers, the SG of the chapter, Kayanga Hassan, written with the executive in agreement, they written a petition to the Kavule, to the executive, to our bosses, about giving reason as to why I cannot vote from Kavule, and requesting that we can have primaries here. It is okay, we can have the EMs of the executive of Kavule to come and in Kyambogo and man the elections with the help of the executive. That was all okay. But when he reached there, he was just away from home. If they chase you from home, what do you do? Because that's why in the beginning I said, we are not here to follow individuals that the SG has said. And some people were castigating me, as is the head of the institutions. How can you defy the Secretary General, David Louis Lubongoya? The directive, in fact they used the word directive, called the word directive. And I told them, we are chasing away the dictator. We are not here by directives, but by principles. You understand? Yeah. The party doesn't belong to individuals. It doesn't belong even to Bobby Wine, or David Louis Lubongoya, or me, or any other person. It's for the people and by principles. So if these principles are broken, there is no way you can still follow the individuals. If these principles are there and they are being followed, it is okay. But individuals, even when it is Bobby Wine, or even when it is the Secretary General, or even when it is Kanabi, the doctor, who most insisted on this process to have it in Kavule, he insists we can never do that, because it is by principle that we believe in this party, not by because this one is here. You understand? Yes. So that is very important and critical.
Yeah. Our viewers that are watching us on TikTok, please, you can send in those questions that you might want us to reply to you. Then as well, let's talk about the disqualification of candidates from the race. Yeah. I've seen a number of letters since last week, because you're supposed to vote last week and then it was extended this week. I saw letters disqualifying Axel Benjamin and Boite Tony. I saw letters disqualifying the other candidates, that is Humphrey, Aruantonzi, and some other two candidates. What is really behind this? Are these letters true? Because I've seen some are being disclaimed. How true are some of these letters?
Surely.
And as well talk about the disqualification of Akiso and Boite.
I think
why they were disqualified from the race.
I think let me start from there. Surely, a lot has been happening on the Mighty Hill. A lot of propaganda, some are fake, some are real. But at first, Akiso Benjamin, it is true, he was disqualified from the race, and Boite Tony. And it was on the claims that they had forged signatures and they did not get consent of of one of the people who would second them.
But this was after nomination. Weren't the signatures looked at when they were being presented at the nomination day?
That is a question in the public. Why? Because in fact they were nominated, and I think almost a week passed, and it was after that when one boy called I think Hillary. Mostly I think he's from Mugalia's camp. He petitioned. He was saying that Akiswa Benjamin and Boete Tony, they had forged signatures, and also some of the people who seconded them distanced themselves from them as being their seconders. And what traumatizes my mind is that they have never displayed these nomination requirements anywhere. Not even the 100 seconders for every candidate has been put, maybe has been displayed on the notice board or on any communication group anywhere. But one person came out and said that they used my credentials and I did not consent. You understand? But surely I don't know how he accessed that, because he's a normal student like any other person. I don't know how he accessed that. We also still questioning that, how he accessed that. But also, you know, this is a political space. Today is I can consent to have your documents and signature, because people can have even like more than 2 signatures. One can and for you cannot justify which is my signature, but because we come from the comradeship, you say, let me sign for you and have this proof of registration, and I second you. But with time, someone can change because of the political space. People who would want to use to weaken others, you know, the political space. Because now, even the people who say that they did not consent to second these candidates, we question ourselves, okay, if the signatures were forged, where did they get the proof of registration for these people? Because you can only access that through your portal, unless when they want to tell us that these candidates have their passwords of the portals that they downloaded the proof of registration and given them to and they given to the candidate. But if not that, then what should we say? So the political space, things change. People change their interests because of people. People would love to use others to castigate others in the political space. So that's the matter, and that's how they were disqualified. But obviously, just because I think there is fear, there is mafiaism in these elections, the EC chair, where I had even disqualified all the candidates and only 2 were left. One called Shaba and one called Murumba. No, not Murumba.
As we conclude, let's talk about, because election was supposed to vote yesterday, but unfortunately we didn't vote. Let's talk about elections have been postponed. Is there any chance where we shall have all these candidates back in the race, or it is all done?
To be heard, we must be heard, and we are the oppressed students. No Akiso, no ballot, no Boete, no ballot. That is a fact that on the grounds where these people were disqualified, they are not valid. And we are saying that we cannot have these elections unless when these people are being added back. Because I know the management fears the voices of the students, they fear the oppressed students to raise up. But I want to tell the university, and I also want to send the message to the students, that they must raise up and defend their rights. Let them stand up and fight for themselves. No one is going to fight for you, but you must fight for yourself. Have your candidate there, because on the grounds where they were disqualified, it is null and void. I want to assure you that. And also, we are not yet sure if we shall have elections now, or shall have the take care government, or when the vice chancellor will put a waiver on when to have these elections. But we pray we have these elections, and we pray these 2 people get back to the ballot, and the students decide who becomes the 21st Guild President of Kyambogo University.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable Boete Aziz. This has been a Campus Politics show, looking at the chaos and what is happening at Kyambogo University. We are still live, and we still bring you what is happening until we have the 21st Guild President, and to see how the situation will be handled by the university and the students. But as we close the show, I would like to send a message to most people that in the political space of institutions, that please The positions you occupy are temporary positions, that at any time too, you're going to be out of those positions. So please look at the history, look at what you've done and what you shall tell people when you're longer in that position, and do what you're supposed to do, and forget about the simple man and small things that you're given to, so that you can have fair processes. Thank you so much. This has been Easy on Media. Mugabe Godwin for you. Thank you for watching. Good evening.
MUBS TV.